Hi everyone. Our subject today is about the believers. And what I mean by believers is not simply of one religion or one specific. It's in general of all religion. And probably at one particular time I will reduce it to an ultimate. Okay. Most of the people say or pretend to be believers. That is, believers in something. But in reality, few of them really are, which means are honest, are truly believers. So, how can one prove to be, and how can we recognize one as such? It's been said it shows that they have a true faith, but how? By the fact that true believers use their skill, their power, and authority when and where it takes in a decent manner, whereby they tend to imply divine justice and learn wisdom from God through His guidance by showing inherent love, each one according to his or her religion. But in fact, believers are categorized to different factions. Each religion or communal party or group have believers of their own and in different issues and different concepts of belief. The commonalities among them reduce to the fact that the believers, according to each and all, are those who believe fully and sincerely in heart, in action, and in deed, whose faith is dwelt in their hearts and appeared on their movement. But more specifically, the religious believers are the people of firm belief in God Almighty, associated with piety and righteous deeds. Among their attributes, the reverence of their hearts, their reluctance to talk nonsense, and their avoidance of immorality. And they keep their trust in God. They advise each other, they help one another, and especially they help the needy and the poor, of course. They'd be patient in difficult time, knowing that God will make things better for them. This is their character, their personality, and thus their status in the sight of Allah, as indicated in verse 31, Surah 74 in the Quran, which says, and that the believers may increase in faith, which is a status and a fact that the believers may increase in faith if they, as I said, believe with all their heart, with all their mind, and all this stuff, and truly and honestly. As well, in another verse, 2 of Surah 8, which says, and when his verses, which means when the verses of God are recited unto them, they increase their faith. Again, the same meaning, and this, although the verses are from the Quran, but the understanding and the meaning of these verses are, I mean, we can find them in the Bible and the Gospels. As in social life and socializing, the identity of the believer is formed from several components that elevate him or her among people, and this identity shows its effects when the believer meets with others and deals with them within the scope of the society in which he or she lives. And here the true social characteristics of the believer appear interpreted in certain characters, certain points, which are first, I mean, the character of the believer is interpreted in first, tolerance with others, with others, calling them brothers. Second, in mercy and kindness with everyone, believers and non-believers as well. Third, greeting with a smile, exchanging smiles when they greet one another, and love and friendliness because the believer knows that his or her smile is a giveaway, is a charity, it costs nothing. Four, humility that has a noble goal, unlike arrogance. All religions agree on this. Five, justice, because God does not like injustice and oppressors. Six, interdependence and support for the believer is in solidarity with his brother, that is according to the believer's religion, and all brothers in humanity as well, to fulfill their needs, to relieve their distress and worries, even defend them in the presence of some defame or unjust treatment or aggression. Now, we see this actually, let's say, not largely, but in an obvious way, we see it amongst Muslims in one way. I mean, morally, I would say. For the believer, I mean, why all this? Because the believer, he thinks and he knows and he believes that he or she actually will be rewarded for all this, for being, tolerant and um, merciful and humble and just and help, and cooperative and so on. He knows he will be rewarded for all this as God really promised. Unfortunately, unfortunately, as a fact of life, uh, believers of all religions, that is, prove to be fanatics, racist, and violent in circumstances difficult and in dire straits, which is no reason whatsoever, but this is the fact of the matter. Especially nowadays, we see and hear many things that prove this fact. So we stop here and let you contemplate. Thank you.